Hello folks, this is Ken with Nothing Fancy Collectibles. Just wanted to do a share. Heroes and icons. Hopefully this will be quick or not so quick. Heroes and icon. Right in front of us is John Wayne. When it comes to Westerns, definitely one of the best. Tell you what, he was good. He was good at what he did. I'm going to let you get close up. This is a collector's frame that is just let you get good and close up and see some things. But I got this collector's frame in an auction. I'm not bragging, but it was cheap. And I hadn't seen it in person. I just saw a picture of it. When I went to pick it up, I was quite amazed. That Marshall badge. So many Westerns. And then one or two not Westerns. Different scenery in that. And I'd have to say, one of my grandma's favorites, one of mine. But this frame, I'm just going to turn it around. Sorry for the... From the Bradford Exchange, Spirit of the West frame tribute. Number 44 out of 80. Spirit of the West frame tribute. That's a nice piece. For what I paid, that's a very nice piece. John Wayne. Okay, heroes, icons. We were all kids once. When I was a kid, I never had anything like this. I acquired this last year in an auction. Going by pictures, when it came in, I was very happy. Even if it's stained, it didn't hurt me at all. I didn't care. But this case is from 1973. As you can tell, it's in pretty good shape. I think it is. The backside, a little dirty, but in pretty good shape. Cool case, right? What's in it, Kim? It's bound to be empty. Au contraire, mon frere. Look at there. There's space, 4 figures. Should be another one there. And as it shows on the front, it should be Superman, Aquaman, Batman, and Robin. I wish Batman and Robin were in here, but they're not. And I'll be okay. Here we've got Aquaman. In pretty good shape. I'm not going to open it up and look. We could if we wanted to, but we would see, you know, why not? So let me put the case down. Don't be looking at Aquaman. There's supposed to be some writing somewhere on here that tells us the year. And that year, if I remember correctly, is 1973, 74, 75. Enough looking at that. So we've also got Superman. Unfortunately, the S has come off of Superman's chest. Still got his cape. He's supposed to have boots, I think. I'm like, the legs, the arms, bend, all of that. And then we've got, you know him, Captain America. The star on his chest is worn off. I'm okay. I wasn't sweating that. But you see how the wrists are made? He's supposed to have boots as well. Okay. We'll put him back to sleep. All right, I'm gonna sit down for this one because might not be a hero to some, but definitely an icon. Look at that. Mr. T. Y'all know Mr. T. This I got in an auction, local auction last year, I think. Early on in the year. And it was too good to pass up. Just look at that face. For just a figure. You see the Mr. T. You see the gold chains. I still don't know why the hands are open up like that. I haven't looked anything up to see what it's supposed to be. For ages over 3, and I definitely am. Authentic action figure, the A-Team Superstar. This is from 1983. Stephen J. Cannell Productions. I'll tell you what, he was into a lot of TV shows in the 70s and the 80s. Mr. Cannell. It's a playset. I don't know what the rest of it's supposed to look like, but I tell you what, that was one show. I'd have to say, between George Peppard as Hannibal, you've got Faceman, Mr. T, and of course the crazy one. He had to have been my favorite. Yeah, she was pretty, but it was all working together. It was a pretty good show. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to give you a little bit of history here. So I'm just going to, it's nice not having, sorry about that glare, I'm working on it. So while y'all are looking at Mr. T, I'm going to read a little bit of information about him. Mr. T was born, hope I don't get this wrong, Lawrence Terod. He was born May 21st, 1952. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He was the youngest son in a family with 12 children. Can you imagine that? 12 kids. His father was a minister, but his father left the family. And after he left, well, Mr. T shortened his name to Lawrence Terod. 1970, he legally changed his last name to T, and his new name, Mr. T, was based upon his childhood impressions regarding the lack of respect from white people for his family. So you think about the time he grew up in. He said he thought about his father being called a boy, his uncle being called boy, his brother coming back from Vietnam being called boy. So he questioned himself. What does a black man have to do before he's given respect as a man? So when he was 18 years old, when he was old enough to fight and die for his country, old enough to drink, old enough to vote, he told himself it's time to be called a man. So he self-ordained himself Mr. T, so the first word out of everybody's mouth is Mr. That's pretty darn good. He attended Dunbar Vocational High School, played football, wrestled, and studied martial arts. That doesn't surprise me. So he enlisted in the United States Army in 1975 and served in the Military Police Corps. After his discharge in the late 70s, he tried out for the Green Bay Packers of the National Football League, but he failed to make the team due to a knee injury. I wouldn't want to be the person to have to tell him that. He next worked as a bouncer at the Rush Street Club, Dingbats Discotheque. It was at that time he created the persona of Mr. T, wearing the gold neck chains and other jewelry, which they became, well, bar property as a result of customers losing the items or leaving them behind at the night after a club fight. So if a band customer or someone that didn't want to have to go back in to get it they could always come back another night and see him because he was the doorman, he was the bouncer, and he'd be wearing their jewelry right on his front, and they could ask for it back. He eventually parlayed his job as a bouncer into a career as a bodyguard. That lasted almost 10 years. Can you imagine having Mr. T, sucker, as your bodyguard? And as his reputation grew, he was contracted to guard, among others, clothes designers, models, judges, politicians, athletes, and millionaires. His clients included celebrities such as Steve McQueen, Michael Jackson, LeVar Burton, Diana Ross. This amazes me. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and Leon Spinks. While he was in that capacity, he got a lot of strange offers to go after runaway teenagers, tracking them, locate missing persons, take care of debt collections, and assassination requests. Nah. So while he was in his late 20s, he won 2 Tough Man competitions consecutively. The first aired as Sunday Games on NBC under the contest of America's Toughest Bouncer. And one of those things that he had to do in there was throw a 150-pound stuntman breaking through a 4-inch wooden door. And at the end, 2 finalists squared off in the boxing ring for a 2-minute round to declare the champion. Making it to the ring as a finalist, he had as an opponent a 280-pound Honolulu bouncer. Within 20 seconds, Mr. T gave that 6'5" competitor a bloody nose, later a bloody mouth. He won the match and thus the competition. The second competition was aired under the new name Games People Play on NBC. When he was interviewed by Bryant Gumbel before the final boxing match, Mr. T said, "I just feel sorry for the guy I have to box. I just feel sorry for him." The fight was scheduled to last 3 rounds, but Mr. T finished it in less than 54 seconds. So if you ever wondered why did he come up with the look that he's got, while he was reading National Geographic, Mr. T noticed the unusual hairstyle for which he is now famous on a Mandinka warrior. He decided that the adoption of that style would be a powerful statement about his African origin. It was a simple, safer, and more permanent visual signature than his gold chains, rings, and bracelets, which of course we all knew, no, he still wore. So in 1980, he was spotted by Sylvester Stallone while taking part in NBC's America's Toughest Bouncer competition. And although his role in Rocky III was originally intended to be just a few lines, Mr. T eventually cast as Clubber Lang, the primary antagonist. His catchphrase, "I pity the fool," comes from the film, which asked if he hates Rocky. Lang replies, "No, I don't hate that Balboa, but I pity the fool." He also appeared in an episode of Silver Spoons, reprising his role as a bodyguard of the character Ricky Stratton, played by Ricky Schroder. I need to look that up, see if I can find that. That'd be cool to watch. We all know him for his A-Team role as Sergeant Bosco B.A. Baracus, Bad Attitude, an ex-Army commando on a run with 3 other members from the United States government for a crime they didn't commit. As well as the team's tough guy, he was a mechanical genius, but afraid to fly. "I ain't getting on no plane, Hannibal. I ain't getting on no plane." It was reported that he earned $80,000 a week for his role in the A-Team. Excuse me. His role led him to make an appearance in the long-running sitcom Different Strokes in the 6th season opener, Mr. T, big letters, and Mr. T, little letters, in 1983, in which an episode of the A-Team is supposedly filmed in the family's penthouse apartment. And I remember seeing a picture of Mr. T and little Gary Coleman face to face, and Gary Coleman's got that same haircut. That was a good picture. Okay. If you didn't know, he was also in a lot of commercials. It amazed me the movies and films that he was in. But he was also, and I remember seeing him, he entered the world of professional wrestling in 1985. He was Hulk Hogan's tag team partner at the World Wrestling Federation's WWF WrestleMania 1, in which he won. There were some wrestlers that felt that he didn't pay his dues in the wrestling world to be able to become a star. But he did. He became one of the stars. Doesn't matter. I still like him. When I first got to know him, I loved to hate him as a boxer against, you know, Rocky. But I've grown to love this guy. He is, he's very well known for helping children, for helping youngsters try and get on the straight path instead of being lost. He's a professed Christian, and I think at one time he did some ministering preaching. At one point, he gave up wearing all that gold jewelry. He just thought that that was not really the correct way to show his love for his Savior, Jesus Christ. So folks, a little bit about John Wayne. You know, the Mego figures and Mr. T. Folks, keep collecting the things you like, and I hope you have a great day.